Hi, my name is Robert Hubert from Los Angeles, California, and this is the video lesson for week one, music introduction to music production on Courera.org, and I'm going to be teaching you how to record audio or voice into your computer using Audacity, so that you can then take the audio and just put it into any DAW that you would like to use. So the first thing we'll talk about is the basic vocal mic setup and how the audio gets into the computer, and kind of the setup that I have here. What I'm using is the Rode NT1A, and it's a great introductory price vocal mic, and it comes with the whole shock mount. It comes with a pop filter, and the shock mount, what that does is it kind of eliminates like handling noise and isolates the mic really well. So if you're in a studio or in your home and you're kind of walking around, or you have any other kind of noise in the room, it really eliminates a lot of that vibration sound. You can actually adjust the setup and that even while you're recording, and you won't really get too much vibration noise in your mic. And what this pop filter does is that kind of prevents any hard P's or S's and T's. I guess it's vocal sounds that kind of produce a lot of air. So this is kind of just a barrier between the air coming out of your mouth and the mic, and it kind of dilutes those hard sounds, so you don't have any like peaks in your audio that are simply from like blowing into the mic. So what this mic plugs in with an XLR cable, and the XLR cable runs right into, I'm using an FR, let's see, this is the Edirol FA66 Firewire interface, and this operates as your digital analog converter, and this basically takes the audio from your mic setup and transfers it into digital audio so that the computer can handle it in your DAW or whatever software you're using to record audio. So from here, it's basically coming right out with Firewire and going into the computer. We can get into a whole bunch of stuff about how this works, but I'm just going to assume that you have your own interface setup, or that you're going to be going right into your computer via the stereo mini jack in the front, or however you have your thing set up. I'm just going to be talking more about how we actually record the audio once we're in the computer. So for this lesson, I chose Audacity because it's a great free piece of software that you can use with a Mac or a PC. We're going to be working on a PC here, and it's free to download. I'll post the links on where you can get Audacity at the end of the video, and it's really a straightforward install. There's no secrets about it, and it kind of just walks you through everything. And there's a great community surrounding Audacity as well, and you can get help from people there if you have problems or you're stuck. But assuming everything kind of goes correctly with your install, the first thing you want to do is go right up to here, that's the top right, and we're going to select our input, and we're going to select our FA66 channel 1, and that's going to be what we have the Rode mic hooked up to. And then we want to start monitoring. So let's see, I'm going to double check I have all my inputs turned way down. I do. And you can just hit this little button here, and this is that, you'll see a little microphone there, and it just gives you the option to disable monitoring or start monitoring. So we're going to start monitoring, and you can already see my voice is picking up a little bit, and I'm going to show you where you can see the audio begin to clip. At the very end here, there's a little red, well, it's not red yet, but if it was clipping, you would see this was red. So this is, you want to stay out of this zone here. So anything that's on this side of that little tiny slice is going to be great. You want to get as close to that as you can. That's going to be your line level right there. So I'm going to turn up my input here, and you can see the mic is picking up more and more my voice. And let's see where we are. I think right about there is a good level. I'm not too close to the mic, so if I get any closer, I don't have my limiter turned on my interface, so we might get some clipping if I turn it up any further. So now that we're monitoring and we like our level, what we can do is we just go right up here to the record button, and you just hit record. Actually, before we hit record, we want to make sure that we're recording the right type of track. So we're going to, it's already on mono, you can do stereo, but since we're only working with one input, and it's a mono mic, we just select mono. That will give us, we'll monitor again, and we can still see it's just monitoring one channel. And I'm going to go ahead and hit record. Check, check, 1, 2, check, check, hello, hello. Alrighty. And then we can hit play. And I have this set up going out of these KRK monitors, and they're already turned on and up to the proper levels. So we can just back up right here and hit play. Check, check, 1, 2, check, check, hello, hello. Alrighty. So some of the fun things we can do in Audacity, now that we've got our audio in there, is we can actually stretch this out a little bit. We can zoom in more, or shrink it a little bit, so that we can kind of see where we are. So I have to apologize, my phone keeps running out of space. I am actually recording this on my iPhone because I don't have any other camera. So just bear with me if we get some cuts in and out here and there in the video. So where we left off was, now that we have the audio recorded into Audacity and we want to export it for use in another DAW, we're just going to go hit File, and we're going to go to Export. And this pulls up the export window, and this is where we're going to save it as different file types, or it lets us save it as different file types. So we want it saved as the best file type for when we import it into the next DAW. And what I like to do is keep everything while I'm working on it at 24 bits. That's what my audio interface records at 24 bits. So how we get there with Audacity is we go to this area that says Other Uncompressed Files, click on that, and then we're going to go to the options, and this pulls up the Other Uncompressed File options. So we want to save it as WAV, and that's already there, so we're going to save WAV. And then encoding, we want to select 24-bit. And if you notice, you can go up to 32-bit, 32-bit float, 64-bit, but since we're going to be working in just basic DAW stuff and then exporting to 16-bit for CD audio quality anyways, 24-bit is great, because if we do any audio manipulation like stretching or time stretching or pitch bending or anything, or play with the samples, it's going to get us a better sample rate so that our audio still sounds good when we're done playing with it. So we're going to just go ahead and hit OK here, because we have those settings set up how we want them. And then we just title it and hit save. And what it pulls up now is a metadata entering thing. This, I don't think WAV files support much of the metadata, so this is usually used for MP3 type stuff, and you can put in a whole host of fields here, which is kind of good if you're going to be, uploading this online or something and you want your information to show up in different audio players. But since we're just going to be using WAV and putting it into our DAW, we don't have to put anything in there. So we'll just hit OK, and that will export it. And it doesn't really give you any export graphics, but once that window closes, if it doesn't give you any problems, you can assume that it's saved to the to your file. So one thing I forgot to mention on the audio interface was that for the mic that I'm using, it uses or requires phantom power, and this one actually has a phantom power switch right on the back. And so we just want to make sure that that's on before we start recording, because if we don't turn that on, we're not going to get any audio coming into here. It's just not going to pick anything up. So I think that just about wraps up our basic introduction to recording audio using Audacity and exporting it for use in any other DAW or really anywhere that you want to use the audio. And I hope this helps somebody out there get moving along on projects. I know it's definitely helped me kind of move audio around and capture audio quickly and move it between projects. It's kind of a quick and easy way to get the audio on your computer without having too much hassle of any complex DAWs or using really too many tools that can kind of get cluttered and kind of slow you down if you're just looking to get audio on your computer as quickly as possible. Alright, well, thanks for listening, and I will see you next week.